Bobby Lopez here, and let's do a little bit of, we had a question about the bounce on the sand wedge. You'll want to go to our blog at quickfixgolf.com and see what we wrote on there about the whole thing so you can understand more about that. But you'll see there's a lot less bounce, and the bounce being a roundness on the bottom of the golf club. In fact, the better players today, they're trying to grind a lot of that off. In fact, Callaway's coming out with a 60-degree wedge that has zero bounce. So here's one of the reasons why there's less bounce. In the old days, these bunkers were nowhere near as nicely manicured as they are today. Not only are they manicured better, but they do what they call turn the bunker, and they'll go in there and they have this machine and they rotate that sand. So there's good soft sand a lot deeper than just the initial surface. Okay? Notice how, and I think this is bent crane, not sure, but notice how much his club face is open. See that? Back when we see it, yeah, here we go. See? His club face is a lot more, oh, this is going to be good. Here we go. It gets a little grainy when you get close, but hey, club face is wide open, and you can see there's not a whole lot of bulge on the bottom of his club. Now, what does the bulge do? If you've got a sand wedge here, I'm no Picasso, but I'm going to draw a club here, sort of. And if this were flat, see, the leading edge will be the first thing to go into the sand, which is going to make your club stick into the sand. So if you build some bulge on the bottom, if it's rounded, the trailing edge is more likely to go into the sand, which is rounded and will slide through the sand. Now, in the old days, I said when the bunkers weren't as well taken care of, you had a big old bulge on the bottom, and they would blast the ball out. I had to hit that thing hard and take a huge divot. Well, you'll get it out, but today, they're looking at sand saves and conversions and they want to get it close, and they got a much better chance because they got a much better surface to play from. The green is better and the bunker's better. So let's watch this shot right here. You're going to see he's going to take a lot less sand than you think. Watch. Boom. Look at that. See? It's nowhere near as deep as you might have thought. So if it's not as deep, that means you can have less bulge on the bottom of the club. What does that mean also? That if you're just barely skipping that club underneath the ball, you've got a lot more feel for distance and ball speed out of the bunker, because everything in short game has to do with ball speed, ball speed, ball speed, ball speed. So if you're trying to control how far the ball goes, let me show you this one right here. Here's this guy. I have no idea who he is. Here, see, open. Now he's going to take a little more sand. He's coming down, bang, right on it. See? But notice he's got a ball way past the hole. I don't know where this one goes because the video stops. But you would have a lot more feel if you did more like this. See? Look at that. See that? He didn't take a whole lot of sand. Well, if you've got a big old bulge on the bottom of your golf club, you're going to have to take a whole lot of sand, or you're going to take half the ball and head over the green of somebody's yard. You see, you got to get the club underneath the ball. Here it is on a close-up again. Boom, boom, boom. There he is. Pow. Away it goes. Hinge the club up. Now you set that hinge. You just turn. There you are at impact. See how he keeps his knees nicely flexed. Nicely flexed knees. Now he throws his right hand over a little bit. That concerns me. But we don't know what the shot is or what he needed to do. But the ideal thing to do here is keep, whoops, went the wrong way, is to keep the upper body moving. In other words, once he gets here, boom, boom, now he should keep his chest turning. Keep turning, hold that angle, not fire that right hand, and keep his hand turning. Of course, we don't know what was going on over here. Maybe this stick was real close to the hole and he felt like he had to use his hands for whatever reason. Let me see if I can move some of this back. There we go. Now, let's see what he does here. Let's see if he turns his body. Turn. I get there. Now, keep going, chest. There, see, his chest keeps going pretty decent there. But you see, he's taking a ton of sand. See? Less bounce, less sand, and then you can also use the club for something else, like some flop shots around. Although, you know, most of these sand wedges will have at least 8 degrees of bounce. I like to get one at 6, but, you know, I'm used to doing this. I'm used to taking very little sand. For the average golfer, it's maybe a little tougher for them because they're scared they're going to blade it. But that's why you need to come to our boot camp on sandwich shots so you can get confident that you know what you're doing. The less loft, the better. The better the player, the less loft they want. And that's why they're making this 60-degree wedge with 0 bounce. And you can use that for flop shots. You can have a fairly tight lie or be on firm ground and still get the leading edge of the golf club underneath the ball. The problem is if you're not good at what you're doing and you hit behind it, it's going to be as sharp as a knife. Poof! You go to the ground and you stop. So you've got to be able to make contact with the leading edge of the golf club on the ball. Here, you don't make contact with the leading edge. You're actually hitting a little bit behind it. And not too much. You know, people try to start way back in here and dig this big giant hole to get it out of there. You don't need to do that. You just need to open the face, hinge the club up. Let's look at this here, right here. You open the face, hinge the club up. Now, turn your chest right. Boom. Keep the chest moving. There you go. All right. Hope this helps you some. Makes you realize when you're getting a sand wedge, don't. And here's another thing. Oh, this is the other thing that was the big question. Why is it that a lot of the wedges today don't have the S on them? Well, that's because you got a golf club. Who says that golf club has to be used only in the sand? Right? What you've got is different configurations in loft, sole radius, length. All right, so I carry a 54 and a 58. I used to carry a 56-60. The only reason why I carry a 54-58 now is I have the Callaway Razor Tour irons, and their lofts are a little hot, a little strong. So the gap wedge is 50. So I didn't want to have more than a 4-degree gap. So I got 54 and then 58. Don't know that I'm as happy as I was with the 56-60, be perfectly honest with you. But hey, I also carry a 64. So when I get the golf course has a lot of elevated greens, I can use that 64. But I would really like to get that 60 with no bounce on it. I'd love to have that. Just haven't made the effort to go ahead and order one. So I might use the 54 out of the bunker. I might use the 58. I've used my gap wedge out of the bunker. If I've got the flagstick very, very close to me and I have very little room for the ball to run, I use as much loft as I can get my hands on. Even my 64 if I happen to be carrying it for that golf course. But then if the stick is all the way down the back end of the green and I've got 40 feet worth of run, I might use my 54, even my 50. All this face angle, is just giving angle of attack, and that ball, you're not even touching the ball. All right, so look out for one of our boot camps on bunker shots, or if you're interested in one, just get a hold of me at Bobby Lopez at QuickFixGolf.com, and we'll see if we can set one up, because these bunker shots are important. And I used to spend a lot of time working on these. All right, hope this helps. Bobby Lopez signing out, QuickFixGolf.com.